July 16th, 1945. 5:29 a.m. The Jornada del Muerto Desert, New Mexico, a place the Spanish once named the Journey of the Dead Man. In the center of this wasteland stands a 100-foot steel tower. At its peak sits a device with an almost playful nickname, the Gadget. Miles away, some of the greatest scientific minds on Earth lie flat in the sand, faces turned away, eyes hidden behind welders' goggles. Enrico Fermi drops small scraps of paper into the desert wind, calmly calculating the force of the coming shockwave. Robert Oppenheimer silently recites ancient Hindu scripture, and far beyond them, outside the equations, outside the blast radius, are thousands of people who don't even know what the gadget is. In a single heartbeat, the world changes forever. But the explosion wasn't the only secret. The real story of the Manhattan Project isn't just about the bomb. It's about a teenage girl from a Tennessee farm who unknowingly held the trigger. It's about a scientist who became a human shield against invisible fire. It's about what happens when humanity decides to play God and then must live with the silence that follows. Today, we go behind the barbed wire. This is the Manhattan Project you were never taught in school. 1942. The world is burning. Intelligence reaches Washington that Nazi Germany may be splitting the atom. And if Hitler builds a superweapon first, the war, and possibly civilization itself, is already lost. The response is unprecedented. The Manhattan Project. A $2 billion operation in 1940s money, wrapped in such extreme secrecy that even the Vice President of the United States has no idea it exists. To hide it, the government doesn't just build laboratories, they build ghost cities. Oak Ridge, Tennessee transforms overnight, from quiet farmland into the 5th largest city in the state. It doesn't appear on maps, it has no official name. Tens of thousands arrive for high-paying government work. There is only one rule: you don't talk about what you do. Not to your spouse, not to your children, not to anyone. Ask too many questions, and you're gone by sunset. This is Gladys Owens. She's 18 years old, recruited from a Tennessee farm, no college degree, no science background. Every day, she sits on a tall stool inside a massive windowless building. For 8 hours straight, she watches a needle on a dial. If the needle drifts, she turns a knob. That's it. She doesn't know she's operating a Calutron, a machine separating uranium-235, the rare fuel needed for an atomic bomb. She's told only this: if the needle moves, turn the knob. Don't ask what's in the pipes. One day, she asks a man in a lab coat what they're making. He looks at her and says, "We're making the front of the back of a watch." It sounds absurd now, but the pressure was relentless. Gladys and thousands like her were unknowingly refining the fuel that would erase cities from the map. They were not scientists. They were not soldiers. They were the invisible gears inside a machine built for total destruction. While workers in Tennessee lived in ignorance, scientists in Los Alamos lived in fear. Fear of a 14-pound sphere of plutonium known as the Demon Core. It had already killed one man, Harry Daghlian, but the experiments continued. May 21st, 1946. Physicist Louis Slotin performs a dangerous test known as tickling the dragon's tail. Using nothing more than a flathead screwdriver, he holds 2 beryllium hemispheres apart, measuring how close the core can come to criticality. The screwdriver slips, the hemispheres close. A blinding blue flash fills the room. Slotin doesn't panic. He doesn't scream. He thrusts his bare hand between the spheres, stopping the reaction. He saves the 7 people behind him. Then he turns around. His face is pale. He knows. He has just absorbed a lethal dose of radiation. Louis Slotin dies 9 days later. As his body breaks down from the inside out, his final words to his colleagues are simple: "I'm sorry I got you into this." But not all dangers were accidental. As the project expanded, officials became desperate to understand how plutonium behaved inside the human body. So they crossed a line. Unwitting Americans were injected with radioactive material without consent. One of them was Eb Cade, a construction worker injured in a car accident. While unconscious, doctors injected him with plutonium. He was never told, never asked. In official records, he wasn't a man. He was HP-12, human product 12. The ethical lines weren't blurred, they were incinerated. August 6, 1945, Hiroshima. In Oak Ridge, the Calutron Girls are gathered around loudspeakers. For the first time, they learn the truth. Gladys Owens remembers the room falling silent. Some cheer, others cry. At Los Alamos, celebration feels wrong. Oppenheimer receives a standing ovation, but witnesses see him wringing his hands. Later, he tells President Truman, "I feel I have blood on my hands." The bomb worked. But something else broke. What did we learn from the shadows of Manhattan? We learned that secrecy accelerates progress, but erodes humanity. The project gave us nuclear medicine, carbon dating, space exploration. It also gave us the permanent shadow of annihilation. Today, we are building new ghost cities. They exist in code, in algorithms, in laboratories without windows. Once again, we are tickling the dragon's tail. Are there Gladys Owenses today, turning digital dials, unaware of what their work might unleash? History is not just what we did, it is what we were willing to ignore in order to do it. The Manhattan Project proved human genius has no limit, but its ghosts remind us that empathy does. The next time you hear about a technology that changes everything, remember Los Alamos, because once you let the light out of the box, you can never put the shadows back in. If you believe the cost of progress deserves scrutiny, subscribe to the Time Navigator. Keep thinking, keep questioning. Until next time.